Welcome to Blonde Cards and Crafts. Let's make something together. Hello crafters! Today we're going to be making a mini slimline card and we're using the Papercraft Society Box 18. So I have some product left in my wallet there from the kit that I got, and I thought I'm going to make a couple of slimline cards. And I went down the route of the mini slimline card using this Papercraft Society kit. This is how I store my stamps and my dies, in these clear plastic wallets, and the dies I store on some metallic sheets that are backed by 300 GSM paper. I'm going to be using some of the stamps and dies as well as the paper that came from the kit, and this is one I made using a cream card, but the one I'm going to make now is going to be made using a white card for the base. So this white card measures 6.5 by 6.25, and I've scored it at 3.25, and like I said, that'll make our card base. And I'm going to burnish it well using a bone folder on the crease there. Lovely. Okay, so next we have our patterned paper piece, and this will measure 3 by 6, and that'll sit on the top. And then next to go on top of that, I have a die cut piece. And the die cut piece, I've used the shadow die here. This is a 2-piece die set there, and I've used the shadow part to cut this out. And I just thought it'd be something different rather than using an oval or a rectangle. And you can place it any which way you want. So I'll probably go with that way. Next, I've die cut out one of the little bows, and there's 2 bows, and I've used this very fine one. I think it's so lovely. So I'm going to put that on there like that, and you can see that the tail there, the left hand tail, will stay on the die cut out piece. I also like to swatch out some of the ink color onto some white card, and I put a piece there on so that when I look at it I know exactly what color it is. The stamp I use is Just to Say, and again that's one of the stamps that came in the set there, and these stamp absolutely beautifully using just a stamp block. I'm going to use this long floral sprig as well, and I'm going to decorate the inside of my card using that as well as my envelopes. Around the front of my card I'm going to put some lovely pearls, and these are some from my stash. So that's everything we need to make our mini slimline cards. Let's go ahead, speed everything up and stick everything down. So I'm going to use some liquid glue to stick this pattern paper down, and I'm using the Art Glitter Glue. I love this glue because it doesn't have any residue if any kind of leaks outside, and it doesn't go tacky, so it just, if any does leak out, there's no evidence of it once it dries. So I've stamped down my Just to Say, and it's stamped beautifully using the block, and now I'm putting down the little bow, and I'm going to stick down the little legs and the middle of it, but I haven't left the sides stuck down. I've left them floating so you can kind of fluff them up. Now I'm going to stamp down on the sprig inside, and I've done a 2nd generation stamping there, and I'm going to do a 1st generation stamping here. And the reason I stamped it off first onto that piece of card was just to make sure that it would stamp, because I hadn't used it before. Now I'm going to put some foam tape onto the back of our focal piece, and I'm just going to make sure that that's nicely centered on the card. Lovely. And then I'm going to embellish that using some of the pearls from my stash. I'll put one at the center of our bow, and then one on the left hand side up near the top, and then one on the right hand side down near the bottom. Perfect. And that's our card done. As simple as that. It's a nice quick card if you needed a quick thank you card, or this would even do as a sympathy card, because it's blank inside, so it's just to say whatever you want to say on the inside. So brilliant. Now we're going to move on, and I'm going to show you how I make the envelope, and I'm using the 123 punch board, and this is by We Are Memory Keepers. This punch board not only makes envelopes, but it also makes bows as well as boxes. It has an extendable leg for long pieces of paper or card, as well as a scoring tool. And you can see that the extendable leg is a game changer on it. It's fabulous. Okay, so in the blue part here where my thumb is, this gives us all the measurements for our card size, our paper size, and our punch guide. So I'm going to bring it up and zoom in, and you can see here I can select what size card base I'm using. Now ours is 3¼ by 6¼ but the nearest it has here is 3½ by 6½. So it shows me my paper size needs to be 8 3/8 and my punch guide is 3 1/8. So I have my paper here, it's cut to size for my envelope, and I'm going to push it right up against the top there, and it's up against the 3 1/8 mark. Once I have that at 3 1/8, I can punch down, and then I'm going to score it all the way down. Now I'm going to slide it out and rotate it once, twice. This will allow us to do the opposite side, and again I have it at 3 1/8. I've punched and I've scored. Now I take it out and rotate one time where the score line is going in here, and you can see there our score line meets up here and the leg meets down here. So we know we'll have it perfectly in there. This is going to give us our next score line. So we'll score and punch, then we're going to rotate it once, twice, pop it back in again. Our score line is in between those 2 points, and score it right down along and punch. Lovely. And that's our basic envelope, punched out and scored. Now you can also round over your ends, which I'm doing on just the one. I don't normally round over the edges on my envelopes when I make them. Okay, so now we're going to fold our edges in, our sides in. But you see there, that one, it's too long. My envelope won't fold over, so I've taken a little notch off the top. But you can take as much or as little off there as you want. Now our card will fit into our envelope perfectly. And all we need to do is add some tape, and that's just to close our envelope but allow us to put our card in. So I've used a stamping block there to cut off the tape. Perfect. Now I keep all my little scrap pieces of patterned paper, and this one is just going to be perfect to embellish the envelope. I love to embellish the envelope so it matches the card if I can. So I'm going to put this little strip here on the left hand side of my envelope, and that would be perfect. That's normally all I would do. But if you don't want to do this, you can also embellish your envelope using the stamps. And I'm going to show you using that floral sprig again. So I'm going to put some ink on it. I'm going to stamp down once. Then I'm going to stamp again, and that'll give us our second generation stamping. So that matches the inside of our card. So there you go, there's our 3 1/4 by 6 1/4 mini slimline card. If you like this video, you might give it a thumbs up. If you're a subscriber, thanks for subscribing. And if not, you might click on the bell icon down below so you'll be notified the next time I post a video. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And until next time, stay safe. Bye for now. You can find me at Facebook, Instagram,